flail a bit, and then somebody would manage to capture something that looked vaguely graceful.
Hello and welcome to Ctrl Cosplay, a podcast of general conversation and absolute tomfoolery. We're your hosts, Siobhan and Lydia, and today we have a very special guest. We have Fletcher of Etchafletchphots and Kingswoodcosplay. Hello.
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 I always love the unsure hello.
Well, look, there's a very specific intro voice that was happening, and I was
Sorry.
like, I'm supposed to peek.
You're like, who is this professional?
Who is this customer service legend?
I've worked in customer service. This is not my customer service voice.
I also like how at the start we're like, we're going to introduce the guests and just wait for them to say hello, and then at the exit we don't let them say goodbye. We're like, no.
You
It's
don't
changed now. It's new.
This is our show.
Yeah, you thought you knew what was happening?
I think this is the first time we've actually said the handles in the intro.
First time.
Whoops. Oh well.
No, we normally say the handles, do we not?
It just says guest name, so I don't think we do.
I'm pretty sure we do. Anyway, behind the curtain there, we have a script, guys.
Don't tell Eddie, he'll get real mad again.
Oh, no.
Eddie had a script.
When he realised we had a Excel spreadsheet that we could both see.
A beautiful Excel spreadsheet. Color-coded, different tabs.
Why is
One
he
on
surprised?
level, Eddie.
He knows you.
Exactly.
Not know that there will be a spreadsheet.
Anyway, enough about Eddie. Sorry, Eddie. I know he listens, but...
This isn't about you, Eddie.
No. This is about Fletcher.
I can't wait for the memes for this week, and it was just going to be that one where that man's eating pasta looking confused. It would be like Eddie far away. Anyway, Fletcher, you can join the ranks of Eddie and Sib as a photographer.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean-
And Lydia.
And me.
Yeah, and you.
I will fight you until you accept your photographer.
You are more of a photographer than I am. I have done 2 shoots.
Excuse me, if you look on the spreadsheet, I am listed as... Wait, am I listed as a cos? Yes, I am, so...
Where do I change this?
Shh. Anyway, so, Fletcher, you said you've done 2 shoots. So, for people that don't know, Fletcher is a cosplayer.
Baby. Oh.
Yeah. Also baby.
And baby, yes.
Fletcher is a cosplayer, and was it earlier this year you were like, you know what? I have too much money. I am going to get into photography.
I wish it was I had too much money.
Oh my God, yeah,
I
same.
wish that was the reason that I got into it, was just, you know what, I have so much disposable income and nothing
I
to
have
do
so
with
much
it.
disposable income and free time. I'm going to
Yeah.
take to a new expensive time.
Yeah, you know what, I don't have enough crunch pre-cons, I now have to add it post too. Just, I'm never stopping for the rest of existence.
Absolutely.
Welcome to my world.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you say you're not a photographer.
Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
am crunching for MCM Birmingham. I am crunching and editing photos from Japan. And what else am I doing? Oh, I am doing a podcast. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, and this.
I
thing we're
missed
doing.
seeing the kittens this week because I've been so busy, and I'm very sad about it.
No.
Ed has gone to a new home today. Not Eddie, food and cosplay Eddie,
Shut Eddie off.
who is not named after Eddie. She has gone to a new home today, and I'm very sad about it.
Oh my
I
God.
can't say goodbye.
I was so close to adopting her. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, I'm very sad too. But yes. Anyway, sorry, no kittens, photography. So, what did start your journey into photography? What made you want to pick up a camera?
I mean, I was kind of like looking for a new creative outlet that didn't involve dyeing myself strange colours. Like, I was like, maybe I could give my skin a break from all of the crit roll body paint, and I could get to do something creative that doesn't involve gluing stuff to myself or painting myself a strange colour. And yeah, I've seen like you guys have so much fun with it when you're not screaming at tank bubbles or bizarre colour correcting. So, you know, it seemed like, given that I've been in the cosplay world for nearly a decade now, it seemed like a like not too far out of my comfort zone kind of thing, but still not like, it's not more cosplay, you know?
Yeah, it's still part of the community. but
Yeah,
it's a
and-
new way to interact.
Yeah, I wanted to give myself the option to like still be in the community and do stuff, but sometimes to not have to be the one who's blind and purple.
Mm.
Which is always good.
You know, sometimes I'd like to be able to see.
I like how the two choices are blind and purple or just sat at home by yourself. There's no middle ground.
It's me. At this point, there is no middle ground. It's either I am green with a beard or blind and purple, or I am at home in civvies. Like, there is no in between.
So you picked up a camera, and then did you know that you were like, okay, this is going to be my first shoot. I'm going to go to a con. I'm going to set up a location. I'm going to, like, how did you decide, okay, this is it. I'm going to start becoming a photographer?
I mean, so Sib here took me on a little adventure with my little fluffy dog, and we went and shot some, like, nature photography, which was very fun, and I got taught how to use my camera, which was very useful because I had no idea.
We both have Sonys, so it helps.
Yeah, it was like, please tell me the secrets of the buttons. There are so many.
I didn't realise we were a Sony gang.
Sony gang.
Yeah. I specifically got told when I was, like, looking at cameras, there was a little group chat of, what do you get? Maybe get a Sony, don't get a Nikon. That's as far as I got. So
Potato.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was me and Carl. We ended up talking like specs and like proper like numbers. And Fletcher's like, I don't know what this means. And
I like your funny words, Magic Man. Don't know what you're saying, but sure. And then I got like given cute little like infographics of this means this thing, and I'm like, oh.
Teacher mode activated.
Yeah, it was great fun. And then we went and did a little mini photography day. And then I was like, you know what? I am not going to bring the silly little Polaroid that I was going to bring to Japan. I'm going to bring my actual camera and drag a certain pair of dear idiots into doing a shoot at Disney.
I believe that was your first shoot, like proper shoot with models.
Heatwave Tokyo Disney.
Insanity.
Yeah, your first shoot, like, there's not hard. Sorry, to get my words out, but like for a first shoot, like most people's first shoot when they join like the cosplay community will be, I've gone to MCM with my camera. I hope there's a cosplayer I can take a picture of, or like it's on floor hall. It's not being at Disneyland in full Disney cosplay yourself, taking pictures of full Disney cosplayers during an unseasonable, like, literally heat wave that my Japanese friends were like, this is unbearable heat wave. So
there was physical sweat rolling down our faces.
Literally had to Photoshop
out. It was that level.
Oh no!
Yeah, it wasn't like delicate glittery mist. It was sweat drops.
You're like, why are they glittery? Oh,
I was editing a photo and I was like, what is this? What is that? And then I was like, oh, I was like, it's not glitter because it's kind of like it's moving down the, like, as I go through the photos, it's getting fun. I was like, what?
It was that first set we did. So I was like, you're not that glittery yet. So it's not glitter. It's also not green.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think I'd infected you with the lavender glitter by that point.
Oh my
God. What is it? And then as I zoomed in, it became more and more apparent it was sweat, and I was like, oh, that's
literally a baptism of literal fire.
Yeah.
Jesus. Even I've not gone that far. My first shoot was in Hyde Park.
It was that and shooting in full sun and then trying to shoot in the like weird abyss room with all the stars in it.
Yeah, so Tokyo Disney Sea, which is when we did the first proper shoot, because Tokyo Disney Sea was the first day we did like shooting, because we did a little bit in Disneyland, but that was mainly like we wanted to go to Disneyland. We didn't want to like do shoots, whereas the second day we went to Disney Sea. And again, we were still kind of having our day, but if we saw somewhere to shoot, we would. But the problem with Disney Sea and Disneyland is they don't have a lot of shade or a lot of cover. And it was so hot. It must have been like, what, 40 degrees? It was so hot. They cancelled the parade because it was that hot. No shade. So you're dealing with like these really high white balance because there's not a cloud in the sky. So everything was really bright, really contrasted. And then you'd go inside and it would be the complete opposite. Everything's really dark and atmospheric, and there's no any lighting because it's all like you're in a medieval castle type thing. So I'm so impressed that you managed to like get photos. I mean, I've struggled so hard in the under the sea area because my camera just couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, some of the under the sea stuff in the back of my camera, I was like, this works, and then I got it on a computer and was like, this does not. This is still the abyss, and this is too dark for even me to be able to fix it. But yeah, we got some usable things, but it was a little bit of a baptism of fire. I'm quite looking forward to MCM Brum when everything will be lit the same.
Everything's going to be lit. You're going to have a steady stream of cosplayers. You're not going to have like a bunch of children in the background you're trying not to get photos of.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, but a lot less than like Disney.
God, yeah.
There were just seas of them, and you were like,
God,
you had to kind of wait for one to go, and then a buggy would come past, and you're like, that's even worse.
You're like, I could have edited out the child.
The child I could kind of like Photoshop a tree over or something, but the buggy is now directly in my way.
Fun fact: if you look at Fletcher's aerial photos when it's the I can't remember what bit of Disney Sea it is, but basically Fletcher is sat in a boat, doing a whole kiss the girl kind of aerial scene, and in the background there was a family that were waiting for the parade, and then because the parade was cancelled, or I don't know, they just decided, you know what, I'm going to watch this happening, and this is my new entertainment, and it's a cosplayer on a boat. But the grill that they're behind is like iron, and then there's like a pebbled wall behind them. So to take them out, because I don't have the new fancy AI takeout stuff, I've literally only been able to take out the top of them. So if you look closely, there's just legs. But then you don't see it, because obviously that you don't really see... They kind of fade into the wall, because obviously there's the bars and there's like colour and stuff. But if you zoom into those photos, there are just legs and no body. So
I mean, there are bits of, I think it's one of your Rapunzel ones that we shot going up the stairs. And then were a couple of guys just stood at the top watching.
Yeah.
And I managed to get most of them out, but I'm pretty sure either part of their torso or part of their leg is still in some of them.
I'm going to see if I can get...
The spot heal would only do so much, because I too do not have the fancy AI buttons.
If anyone listening finds these photos, just comment legs underneath, and we'll know you've come from here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll share the photo I took, because I actually think, unless I told you, your eye would pass over it, because it's quite far away as well. It's not the focus of the photo.
You'd be surprised what I notice in some people's photos.
Well, now you're going to see it.
But like with a lot of it, like where people were stood, it was like up and then in darkness slightly in comparison to like the bright daylight that we were in. So if you kind of just sort of smudge them a bit, you can't really tell. So some of mine do have smudgy people in the background, because I was like, I can't get them out.
If in doubt, blur it.
Well, it's because there's iron railings up the stairs, and I was like, I can't get them out without messing up the railings, and that will be more obvious. Because if the railings suddenly bend, it'll be like those people that Photoshop themselves, and it'll look like I've given Lydia a weird head or something.
Yeah.
Try and like bend the railing, and I'm just trying to get rid of a man.
There are two that I've blurred the background, and I'm not a huge fan of them, so I left the others as they were. But like, if you don't use those photos, that's fine. Like, I think shooting at a theme park, especially a theme park like Disneyland.
Oh, you can see their legs.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah, shooting at Disneyland, shooting at a theme park, it's not the same as doing a location shoot, and it's not the same as doing a con shoot. You have to be mindful that there are other guests, and at the end of the day, you can't be like, well, I'm doing a photo shoot, I'm important. Like, you're
not the main character. The kids are there to have fun. They're allowed to be there.
Like at a con, you can kind of be like, oh, do you mind just waiting? I'm just taking a photo kind of thing. Yeah. And there is that kind of...
Well, Congos also generally have the etiquette that if they probably also at some point want to be shot by somebody, if they're a cosplayer at least. So if you see somebody getting a photo, you generally don't want to be the arse that walks into the line of sight if you see it. Like, it's one thing if they're in a mob of people and you don't even notice they're there.
You say that, and the fact that I'm in the background of someone's photo shoot at Anime Con as Knives, doing a full, like, 8-3. And then the cosplayer...
That's beautiful, and exactly what he would do, so that's fine to me.
The cosplayer tagged me in her photo.
That's incredible.
Perfect.
I can't tell if that's really nice of them or really passive-aggressive.
No, they were really sweet about it, because I then replied and was like, I am so sorry. And I shared it on my story, being like, I'm the worst person in the world.
I love that.
Yeah, it's really
I love that
funny.
so much.
Oh my god, that's what I'm going to do now. Is like just take cursed con photos and just tag whoever's in the background.
I love that you were specifically like a villain, like doing a gremlin thing in the background as well.
In the background.
That's so good. Oh, that's amused me so much. Delight. I'm going to now do that with everything. I'm just going to find Carl and just shove him in the back of everything as Housen, just looking really confused.
I'm just looking at it now, and it's so stupid. So she's taking this absolutely beautiful. She's in like a kind of designer version of a Genshin character. So it's a stunning cosplay, and she's like gracefully moving this fabric, and I am literally in the background T-posing as not.
Not the T-pose.
I mean, he would do that though.
Yeah,
that
so
is so canon of him.
It's that _hijabi_cosplayer. And yeah, I'm so sorry. And I did comment for being like, I'm so sorry for being a gremlin in the background. But yeah, they tagged me in it, which is how I saw it. And yeah, I feel awful. There is also in one of the photos a tiny like little gnat in a little tog ball taking the picture of me. But yeah, go and comment on that photo and apologize.
I found the gnat purple one. That is very funny.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
if you scroll
You see
to
a
the
corner of
second
a
photo-
bun and you're like, there she is. There she be.
Okay, the T-posing is not as bad as I thought it would be.
Well, I am actually posing because I'm posing with. We had I want to say Zabby. Is that the name?
Yeah, there's someone like crouched next to you.
Yeah, it's Zazie.
Yes, that's it. So yeah, so I am like.
Yeah, but I mean, they are also a Trigun stan, so I feel like they won't be mad at the bizarre little knives in the corner being a gremlin.
Yeah, so they were very sweet about it, but it was very funny. So I have been that person in the background. But don't be that person. To be fair, I didn't know. If I had known that I was, because you know when you're shooting, you're like, oh, if I'm in your way, let me know.
Mm.
Yeah.
They did not let me know. So
yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do with where that is. Like, there's so many people shooting up there in so many different angles that, like, if they don't yell at you that you're in their shot, you have no way of knowing that.
So the shot that we've got, because obviously we're taking photos the other side of that, it's angled on the bridge so that we didn't get them in. So it's possible.
They could have just angled the other way. Yeah. But like, again, they probably didn't notice it until they got it home and went, oh, there's the knives.
But it made me laugh so hard when that happened.
That's so good.
We'll have to get her on the podcast and she can
we'll hear the other angle. Incredible.
Yeah.
So funny.
But yeah, no, we're not talking about getting in the way. We were talking about you baptism of fire, doing photography, and then so you're going to MCM Birmingham. That's going to be the first time you're properly like
that's
shooting.
my first lot of con photography, because I did bring my camera to London, but I was only there for a day and I was kind of in a chaos Baldur's Gate hole for most of it.
We both took our cameras and neither of us used them.
They remained in our bags.
Also, I've carried this the whole day.
Oh yeah, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So at Birmingham, are you going to be doing like a schedule? Are you going to be like posting? Because I know people do different things. Some people do a schedule. Some people just be like, I'm here for the next 2 hours, come find me. Or are you going to be like, DM me, we'll sort something out on the day? Like, do you have a plan or are you just going to wing it?
Haven't thought that far.
Like, part of my thing is, because I am a baby like photographer, like I don't really have a backlog that people can look through and be like, yeah, I really like their style, I will totally shoot with them. So I'm kind of like hoping that I can kind of just accost people on the day. But I mean, I'm going to put up another thing on my story like I did for MCM London and just be like, if there is anybody who wants to shoot with me, please let me know what day, and then I will make sure that I actually get to you and don't just fall in a Baldur's Gate hole again. Yeah. But yeah, like, so if people get in contact with me, then I will try and organise a vague time. And like, I will try and track them down or say, at this vague time, I will be upstairs or I will be wherever.
Because what do you do?
Me?
Yeah, because I take a selfie and I'm like, I'm now shooting, come find me on my stories, and that's what I do. Because I used to schedule and then I would miss my whole con.
Yeah, I've only ever shot really at either Hyper Japan or MCM London. So I'm a schedule bitch, which I do miss the entirety of con, and
normally we have
generally
to
function.
Bring you sustenance. You've not left the trees.
I've not shot at Brum, so I don't know the locations. Thankfully,
God, you guys gonna you, Amy, and Fletcher are gonna be following me around like
no.
I love
Millie has said that they will take me round and show me the best
there
spots.
one day.
Yeah, but she's gonna, take me round and show me the good spots. I'm like,
She's only there on the last day.
I'm seeing Millie on Saturday. I'm gonna be like, you were taking my ducklings.
Oh my god, we need to do a video of you just like leading us around.
Yeah,
I'll take it to me and my son ever again.
And I think it's one of the best places to shoot. So I will fully be like, Be gone, Millie.
Oh, I didn't know. We love Millie.
No, I would never.
There on the Sunday, so realistically, she can't lead you round to the
Yeah.
best spot because by then con will be over.
I would just be like, oh, this is
now
what you could have had.
Crawling back to the big duck.
You are the big
The
duck.
goose,
Yeah.
the chaos.
Oh,
goose.
Mother Goose, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We need
Yeah.
duck cats.
I mean, the only places that I know are places that I have shopped, which are places that Lydia has dragged me to anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
I'm just gonna sort of do I'm here, find me if you want, you know.
It kind of depends on what you're shooting, though. That's the one thing I will say about the NEC. One kind of...
Yeah, it's why, like, I have made a conscious effort not to bring stuff like crit roll there.
Yeah.
Because it kind of doesn't really favour that. Like,
it's very
absolutely,
hard.
if I see any crit roll people and they want photos, I will be like, please love me forever and let me take your picture. But, like, a lot of it is very, like...
It's by the lake this year, so that does open.
Oh, into the water.
Then, because it's always the other end, and I'm like, I get lost every time I try and hike there, so...
Okay, quick bet. Which one of the photographers in our group, including Acoustica, who's going to end up in the lake first?
I don't
that
think any
depends
of us.
on what cosplay I'm in, and it depends...
It's December.
Is that counting if one of you puts me in there as a Starian? Because that's not fair.
I have never, and you know what I'm like, I have never been in the lake at NEC.
But look, it's icy, and also like
it's
isn't like Resort World the other side of it, so there is no point in you getting in the lake because then you're just shooting towards buildings.
Oh no, I have seen people get in the lake and take very good photos.
I've seen cosplayers go in the lake. I've not seen photographers go in the lake.
I've seen both.
I've seen both, but it is filled, and I mean filled with goose poop.
Yeah.
You will not get me in there. In my cosplays, absolutely not.
Gustarian, let's go.
Only if it was one that I was willing to kill, and none of the ones that are coming I'm willing to murder.
My face is right there, guys. It's right there. It's literally like 40 minutes drive away. Just go there.
Yeah.
They have towels and heat and a changing room, and it's not a Pebble Beach in the side of Birmingham.
That makes it sound so glamorous, the Pebble Beach in Birmingham.
Yeah, and it's also like if you wanted to do a beach shoot, just go find a beach. There are so many.
Yeah.
Like, that are probably more aesthetic than the random lake next to the NEC.
But we will see. Who knows?
Because
I've seen people in there before, so...
Watch all of us end up camped there now.
No!
After we've been like, no, screw the lake. Just watch, like, all of us suddenly, like, shivering there with the, like...
Clara is doing Zelda.
Well, Clara would not get in. She will die. She'd be so cold.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's December. It's gonna be too cold.
Yeah,
maybe one day in the summer. You
maybe
can convince me to get in there, but
you will not convince me to get in there.
No.
If I would get in the ocean, I'm not getting in the lake.
What about a waterfall?
I have been in a waterfall. You've put both of us in there. We've done that part.
That was very cold.
I still want to go back there and do the Lost Boys there.
Please!
Yes, that would be so cute.
So, now that you are going into photography, do you have dream shoots in the same way that kind of we do, in that, like, I would love to take photos of this?
Yes. Although it's a weird conflict one of, like, I really want to shoot this, but also I want to be in it, but also I want to shoot it. So it's one of those ones that I'm like, if there was a full set, I wouldn't mind togging it instead.
Yeah.
Also, like I'm never going to say no if a full 99 group rocks up and goes, will you take photos? I will cry of joy and be like, absolutely, yes, please. Yeah, like, I'd love to shoot, like, crit roll, particularly if you could get them, like, in a forest or something, like, set up a camp. That would be really cute.
Yes.
I'm trying to think. Trigun. Give me all of the Trigun forever and ever and ever, please and thank you. Pretty much Trigun. Any Trigun, I don't care. I'm hyperfixated for this entire year on this damn thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, those are the sort of big two, would be like Mighty Nine or Trigun, but like, there's so many that would be really cool to do, but it's one of those ones where, like, in my brain I'm still like, oh, but would I cosplay that? And I'm like, that's irrelevant. But
would you ever self-shoot?
That sounds complicated, so no.
I tried that for the first time in September, October, and it was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. although in my defense, I was doing it on my phone because I didn't have my camera with me, so I was having to do it on my phone. But it takes so much more time than I actually thought it would take. Because in my head, I was like, you set up the camera, you sit down, you take your pictures, you do a bunch of poses. It'll be really quick because, you know, I can just bash out a bunch of poses and I'll be done. But then you go over to your phone and you're like, oh, I wasn't in shot, or oh, this was out, or and now I have to redo it. And what did I do? And like, it is not as easy as I thought it was. And I've got a lot more respect now.
Like, I struggle filming TikToks where I can see the dang screen. Like, I don't think I could self-shoot. I think I would just absolutely fail at it and give up.
It is very hard.
Like,
It's something I definitely want to do more of. But yeah, I think practicing at home maybe is the way for me. But
I'm like, let me get the hang of shooting other people first, and then I'll worry about myself. Luckily, I have many a friend who I can accost if I need photos.
It's true.
I can bribe with baked goods and love.
And they are some good baked goods.
They are some great 8 out of 10 donuts every time.
Never forget.
So, would you say that now that I know you've done your 2 shoots, but do you feel like that's changed how you cosplay? Do you, like I've said, I appreciate self-shooting a lot more now, having done it. Do you feel like your opinion of photography's changed, or like?
I mean, photography was always kind of wizardry to me anyway, and it still is. I don't quite know how you do this. I'm figuring it out, but we're getting there. But it's definitely changed my posing, I think.
Okay.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, it's definitely changed that. Like, I will now hold the pose until someone says they've got it, because the amount of photos that I have of you and Nat halfway through moving because I haven't quite got the photo yet, and then you're like, woo! Off into the abyss. And I'm like, great, that was...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's somebody I have to shoot on rapid because they blink and fidget so much. Don't know who that could be.
It's like, have you seen that viral video of the Chinese influencer who's like moving her dress? That's me. Like, unless you tell me.
No. That's Maddie.
That's Maddie.
That's Maddie.
That's Maddie.
Maddie is so quick.
So much, but I'm also like terrified because she's such a professional in like bam, 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 bam pose.
It's great. You can do so much in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but I am a slow little slug still. I'm like still fidgeting with all the buttons. I don't know how the thing works yet. So I'm like, I'm going to have to like tell her to go on slow-mo mode so that I have a chance. But yeah, I think it's changed. It, like, I don't know, posing was always this sort of weirdly nebulous thing to me because I'd sort of flail a bit and then somebody would manage to capture something that looked vaguely graceful. And I sort of wasn't quite sure how it got from A to B. It just sort of happened sometimes. It was mostly honestly Sid going, no, Jordan, no, not like, oh, I've just fixed you here. Normally what happens.
Jordan, no, not that far.
Not that way. Left, no, your other left. But yeah, I think it's made me a bit more aware of, like, slightly more aware of how I look. Like, I don't know, it's hard to phrase, but yeah, it's definitely made me think more about posing.
You now understand the weird little remarks I make.
Yeah. Now I'm like, I see. Or like, yeah, I'll go through photos and I'll be like, I wish I'd just told them to like drop their chin like an inch. I wish I'd done that. But they were across a bridge and at the top of a tea house, so I had no chance.
That's the thing that like gets me is when I'm going through the photos and I'm like, if only, like, because you look on the back of your camera and you're like, excellent, it's fine. Then you get back and you're like, if only I'd like done the chin down or like just did this one little thing or like
I wish you were a 3D model so I could just tip you the tiniest bit. Just be like, no, fix this is not what I want.
Sometimes even if you don't think you need them to tilt the chin down, do it anyway just so you have options, because sometimes people don't choose the chin that's further down, they'll choose the other one. But it's always good to have the options. If you can think of a slight adjustment, just whack it in there just in case.
Yeah, I mean, it's also made some of the general flapping that happens at the start of a shoot make more sense, because I used to just sort of stand there and be like, Sib is doing some wizardry. And I'm like, she's doing like white balance and stuff like that. That is what she's doing.
Playing with my Rubik's Cube. It's my Rubik's
She's not
Cube.
just like whispering magic to the camera to make it do pretty things.
I am. I'm just going, please, just once. Just don't fuck it up, you piece of shit.
Yeah, like, I think if you've never done photography before, particularly like cosplay photography, like, I I had no idea what half of it did, and then it was like, oh, now I understand why you need somebody to stand right there. Why we needed a gnat of white balance.
This is why I bring Daniel. He is my man of white balance. The amount of derpy pictures I have of him, just so the camera settings are correct.
Yeah, there's so many of Nat throwing up gang signs from where I had to white balance her on my camera to then give her it to shoot me as Ariel.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Because we were like, we couldn't, I'm so pale and it was so bright.
Oh god, yeah. It's
I was just kind of glowing.
It's the Yashtola wig on the fucking white sky again.
Every time. Every time.
Oh, this is why some of the photos have the sky edited, like sky replacement.
I've never been more pleased that I didn't shoot a cosplay than realising it was horribly grey at FanFest, because there were so many ancients in grey robes with grey hair. And I was like, you're all just going to blend into one.
They are just the sky.
You are just a green.
I do kind of wish I'd shot at FanFest, because FanFest was incredible, but also I was so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a lot going on.
There was so much happening. I also had like a 6-foot spear one day. Like, that just wasn't happening.
I don't understand, like cosplayers, like both you guys. You have like these really fiddly costumes. Even if they look simple, there's still some fiddle element to it. And yet you start talking and I'm like, what are you doing? How are you doing this dress like this? I struggle in jeans. Like, what is happening?
The worst one for me was Cosexpo.
Friday Brum will be interesting because I do have a 5'7" cross to carry around.
Yeah.
You can prop that up though.
It's just going to get propped against a wall.
Yeah.
But the other 2 days, there is a Carl for me to throw my things at.
That's very true.
Yeah, the worst for me was Cosexpo, where I was like, I'm not bringing my camera because I'm in Donald Duck and I can't shoot in that. And then the next day, kneeling down on the dirt in full Donald Duck cosplay, taking pictures of people.
Incredible.
It was impossible with the giant duck butt. It was frankly impressive. I'm not quite sure how you bent that way.
I had to take the feet off because I couldn't physically kneel in the feet.
It was very funny.
Incredible.
Yeah, so if I say I'm not shooting, I have to leave my camera behind. Otherwise, I will start talking and I will wreck my cosplays.
Yep.
Whereas Cosexpo this year, I learned, and when I was Bowser, I was like, I am not taking my camera.
No, yeah.
But part of the reason I got a mirrorless camera, is it a mirrorless camera?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the part of the reason I got a mirrorless camera was because I was shooting as Widowmaker and I rubbed all of my paint off on my camera. Viewfinder. So I was like, never again. And now I have a mirrorless camera.
Me with my foundation.
I mean, luckily, most of my body paint is touch safe because it's all waterproof. So, in theory, my camera will not be dyed strange colours.
Well, it was more the fact that it rubbed off my eye. Like, so I don't mind my camera going purple. It was more the fact that I was like, why is my makeup not staying? You know when you get like the eye and you're like, why? Why is it one specific eye? And it was because, and then I was like, oh.
I mean, hopefully that won't happen. We'll find out probably next year. Luckily, this year I've got no paint. Because the one day I was going to wear paint, I've swapped Hubris costumes, so Oren's not coming anymore. Which, I mean, I wouldn't have been talking anyway because I would have been blind. So I did briefly joke to Sib that she'd have to balance everything for me and get it in focus, and I'd just push the button.
I mean, doable.
Point and click, girly.
Yeah. Like a fun little togging challenge.
If anything, I'd just give you the remote for mine, because it will probably sync up to yours.
Yeah, that would be fun. But yeah, no, luckily I can now see all 3 days, but I have no body paint, so it shouldn't rub anything off, but we'll see. We'll find out.
Oh, I know what setting I need to show you on your camera.
Oh no.
Which is so it's the focus highlights. So anything in focus will like be highlighted in white.
Oh please! I thought were in focus until I got them back home, and then I was like, "That's focused on the leaf behind someone's head."
It's one reason I shoot using the screen at the back is because I can just see it there. I will.
Yeah, I mean, glare was so bad on the screen that I had to look through the eyepiece.
Oh yeah, I know that bit.
Because again, it was bright sun and 40 degrees.
God, that's too warm.
It was very warm.
I struggle at like 25, 26. I would have been in the hotel. I'd be like, leave me here.
I think the issue was that also because we were outside, there's no air conditioning.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh no, they had the like the misting things in the
They did.
queues and stuff.
And they had the barrels that got your back with water every time you walked past.
Yeah, that did help.
The picture of you getting squatted in the back
It's
is
because I shoot on
incredible.
rapid because Lydia blinks so much.
Yeah.
So, like, there is a beautiful trajectory of, like, shock to horror to acceptance.
Yeah.
I'm getting shot with the barrel.
I like knelt down and I was like, I am in a safe zone, and I knelt down to take the photo, and it arced up and just landed in my lap like this splooshy water.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, I stood in front of those same barrels and barely got hit. They just targeted you
They
specifically.
really did. They like locked onto me. To be honest, it was needed because it was so hot.
It was, yeah. Yeah, this is why the under the sea area, despite being the abyss when it came to lighting, at least there was aircon.
Yeah, that's why it was so popular that third day.
Yeah.
It was just so... That's the hottest day. That's the day they cancelled the parade.
Yeah.
You know it's hot when the mouse cancels the parade.
Can you imagine the poor people in the suits? Like,
Yeah, that's why...
That's why they cancelled it, so they don't Goofy doesn't pass out and fall off the boat.
Yeah.
they're like, not only do you need to wear this, now dance.
Because I think the first 2 days they did reduced parades.
Right. So it's all the face actors.
Yeah, because we didn't really sit to watch a lot of the parades.
No.
And then on the last night we watched obviously like the finale, but that's at night, and it was still warm. Like we weren't in jumpers or anything, and we were just sat watching it. But yeah, that was the day they actually cancelled them, because they normally have like a pirate show, and that got cancelled. And that's like people dressed as pirates. That's not.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
big
layers,
costumes.
though.
It was hot enough that they were like, the people in costumes should not be there. And we were like, bet with 3 of us.
Cosplayers be like,
Well, there was-
Yeah.
Disney Sea is the cooler of the 2 parks because it's on the ocean.
I suppose,
And you get like a breeze, and there is more shade. So I dread to think what Disneyland must have been on fire if we were that hot at Disney Sea. Like I dread
God.
Turned into literal hell.
Yeah, like it's just like the soup, the tarmac is melted.
You just see it, the tarmac's melted, the castle's on fire, Chernobog's like appeared, and it's all fucking chaos.
Yeah. Oh, man, I
Perfect.
missed it.
I'd go to Disney if it was like that.
Yeah, I mean Disney Sea does have a volcano.
I mean, whose volcano? Just a volcano?
A volcano.
It's just a
A
volcano.
volcano with a bug monster in it.
What the fuck?
Love the bug
Don't
monster
question
so
the bug
much.
monster.
I'm
We
gonna
were not pre-warned about the bug monster. I nearly got eaten by it.
Yeah, I wanted
Incredible.
it to be a surprise. Yeah, there's no bug monster. If you go to Disney Sea and you go on Journey to the Center of the Earth, everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
not fine. Sit on the right.
Perfect.
You journey into the center of the Earth and then you journey out again. Like, yeah, it's fine.
This is like the submersible was fine, apart from the bit where we nearly got eaten by an anglerfish.
Yeah, I
Oh
did
my
not like the
God.
submersible. I forgot how scary that was. Anyway, photography. Talking of submersibles and photography,
Oh.
do you want to take photos at tank space? Is that something that interests you? Or are you just like, no, I want to dunk?
I mean, I wouldn't say no, but also I'm very aware that there is very limited tent space, and I don't want to take a spot from someone who knows what they're doing? Question mark? But I mean, maybe by the time the next tank space rolls around for us, maybe. Like, I wouldn't say no to it. I think it could be fun.
I enjoy the editing side of it.
Said no one ever.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I was going to say, every other time I've spoken to you,
let me
the
put this
editing
so-
so much.
when we did the photography show, at the end of the day, basically, Tank Space sent me and Nat just all the raws of everything that was taken that day because it was a remote session.
Mhm.
So we had no idea who had taken what. And basically, they had a camera set up pointed at the tank, and then people could play with the settings and then just take the photo. It was like a remote setting.
Okay.
Mad.
So we got all the raws from that, and they were really fun to edit because someone had done all the hard work, and I could just be like la la la. So you know that reel where the like person singing like "Call Me Baby" and then it cuts to somebody like ah. It was me being like la 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 la, just like taking stuff out. But then when I actually tried to shoot Tank, I was like, absolutely not. This is hell. I took like 4 photos and I was like, not for me.
I'll be honest, we've got so much from the first time we did Tank, having all the don't wear powdered makeup and don't wear dirty clothes and like all this kind of stuff. It's so much easier to edit.
Yeah, it's no longer a soup by the end of the day.
There's
you
so
wanna
much
go
less
back
bubbles.
And re-edit your earlier stuff, or you just like those
No,
ones?
no.
No,
I don't.
An issue with the editing. It was an issue with we put stuff in it that shouldn't be in there, and it turned to soup.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I don't know how much of that you can rectify, because you can't really clarify the water.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much you can do.
I don't tend to, like, you see sometimes photographers go like, oh, going back and editing my, like, first ever photo shoot. I'm like, no, that's dead me. It happened. It was a thing. Never
I do really want to do there was a trend, because I'm always late to trends, but there was a trend a couple of months ago where you took a photo and then you gave it to your photographer friends and got them all to edit it in their style.
Oh, I love that. Do that.
That would be so
And
fun.
I do really want to do it, so I might...
We should do like a round robin of them. Everybody puts one photo in and everybody edits them.
That would be fun.
Before the recording, we asked our guests to pick a random number which corresponds to our virtual artist alley. Fletcher chose 5, which is Empire Dice UK. You can find them on Instagram at Empire Dice UK. They have a wide range of dice. They're based in the UK. And if you need D&D present for the D&D lover in your life, then head on over to Empire Dice UK. I am a big fan of their teal and pink cyberpunk set, as to no surprise.
They gave a set to Laura Bailey, and if you know, you know.
Oh, okay. I did not know, but I know. Okay, back to the podcast. Talking of different editing, have you been playing with styles, or have you just been like editing like in one way, or like, because for me personally it took me a long time to find what my style is, and it's still changing.
I have been trying a lot of different things. So unfortunately for the 2 poor souls that have made the mistake of shooting with me so far, there's like some photos have multiple different sets of color grading on them, because I'm like, I can't really decide what the right vibe is. So I've just sort of done all of them in a
I really struggle with
approach.
Disney, because I shoot very kind of colder, and I like high contrast in photos of myself, but I've noticed that I don't edit high contrast. But I kind of shoot kind of moodier, and my colors are a little bit flatter, I think. And then when I was doing the Disney ones, that just did not fit the mood at all. And so I had to send a bunch of different versions into the Discord and be like, hey, do you like the warmer tone? Do you like the and everyone was like, warmer tone. And I was like, oh,
warm tone
like,
supremacy.
Motley, like,
see, I know I've been editing pretty warm, but I also don't know how much of that is because it's all been Disney.
And it was a hot day, and tones are already like it.
Yeah, everything was already very yellow. Like turning it cold just turns it green, and I'm like, I don't think we're aiming for Shrek. So
I mean,
we could aim for Shrek, but we haven't. We were trying not to.
As someone in the photo, please don't.
I can send it to Shrek if you really want. But yeah, I haven't really settled on a style yet, because I've only done a couple of shoots. So we'll see after like Birmingham, when I've done stuff that isn't Disney and isn't in direct golden sunlight, whether my stuff still stays really warm or if it kind of veers.
Yeah.
I feel, because I thought to begin with, I was like, maybe I'm editing warmer because I like no one appreciates Sib's work so much, and so much of that veers warmer. Like maybe I've subconsciously stolen it. I don't know.
The thing is, I was going to say, like, oh, plot twist, your style never settles, because I never think my style settles. Now I'm like, but what if it has? Now I'm confused about my own work.
I don't know. It was specifically like when I was color grading and I was futzing with the greens, I was like, this feels very Sib.
Yeah.
I feel like I've stolen this by accident, but it's pretty, so I'm going to continue to steal it.
There was a trend a few years ago, I think it was during the pandemic, where you posted like a bunch of photographers' work. I think Chris Ward did it. And it was like, you can tell a shield photography photo, and then it was like 4 examples. Do you guys remember this?
No.
Vaguely.
I do. I'm going to dig through my Instagram archive. But yeah, it was a thing, and maybe it wasn't Chris, but yeah, it was a thing of like, you can always tell a shield photography photo, and then it was like 4 examples of like what their style was. And I remember because someone put me in a collection, and I was so like honored that I had a style. Like, it blew my mind that somebody thought I had a consistent style. But yeah, no, I will dig that out because it was really interesting. But yeah, I think you definitely have a style. So I can look at one of your photos and be like, that's a shield photography photo.
Yeah. I feel like I could look at, if you put like one of Lydia's, one of Millie's, one of yours, one of Acoustica's, like all in a row, I could pick out which one was Sib's. Easy.
Well, Amy would be the one with the shiny ass.
Amy would have the ass shinies that we all know and love.
Yeah, no shade.
No.
It brings me great joy though if I'm scrolling my feed and I see butt shinies and then I look up and it says Acoustica. I'm like, yeah, I did know it. I did know the shinies.
It was when she was editing, and I can't remember, we just said something about leg shinies or butt shiny, and there was like, God damn it. Can't unsee it.
Yeah.
I think Amy hates me because I always wear nude fishnets over my tights, and it means that she can't do the shinies as well.
Ruined the shinies!
You're not shining my ass. Like,
No, I appreciated the shinies because I got them for Rebecca and they were great. They made me look
Shinies
so
were
pretty. We like the shinies.
It was funny because I remember watching her stream of her editing, and I was watching her do it, and I was like, oh.
It brought
This is
me
how
great
it-
joy watching her do it to a Cloud cosplayer. Just
Yes.
like, boop, 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 boop. And I was like, there we go. Now he's got a butt. This is great. It's very amusing.
Yeah, it's amazing the difference it makes, and it made me look at my own work like, huh, interesting.
but it is a style thing, and again, like you said, I think it's very that's somebody's style in the same way that like it's really hard to describe because I wouldn't know how to like put it into words, but like I'd say that like maybe AB's style is like very edgy, and I think that comes across no matter what she's shooting. In the same way that I feel like yours are very kind of not botanical, but like there's a kind of complement of nature in all of your work, even if you're not doing like a nature photo. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'd say like Heather, her work is really romantic, even if she's doing one person.
Oh, the colours are just so
There's
soft
something
and
about
buttery.
the softness, and so even if you're like, if you shoot something cyberpunk and like Sib shot something, I don't know, in a tree, as if Amy shot something in the tree, I feel like your individual styles would still come through that.
Even look at Cos Expo. If you look at the stuff that Amy shot in the trees, it's completely different to what Sib shot in those same trees. Like, it's the same trees we use for Aragorn and like Ashton, and they look wildly different.
Oh yeah, that's so true.
Yeah,
you obviously should be able to experiment, and a big part of photography, and the same with cosplay, is that there is a lot of borrowing and styles and playing about and learning things. But I think it's important to get your own style.
Yeah.
Even if it takes you 10 years.
Yeah, get inspired, try things. I mean, I look at certain color gradings from photographers and I'm like, oh, I like the way they've done that, but then I'll have a play and see if I can sort of not copy it, because copy is the wrong word. You don't want to copy people because then it's their work, not yours.
Yeah.
Style is hard. It comes with time. It comes with practice.
Yeah.
My old work. Oh my god, don't.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Have you seen my old stuff?
No.
I'm in my old stuff era. I've
exactly.
backwards.
But the thing is, do you know what really annoys me? Is your first stuff is already so good, and I'm like, oh no.
Aww.
Which means it's only going to get better from here, because my old
or
stuff...
it all goes downhill from here, and it was I had some very good some very good cosplayers and a very good backdrop.
Yeah, it's all down here. You peaked too early.
Yeah, prom is just going to be a hot mess.
I'm interested to shoot prom because I've not shot there, so I'm interested to see the difference between MCMs.
I'm very excited.
I really prefer Brum.
I just love the open space element to it.
I think it has a lot more variety.
Yeah, I've seen a lot more come from it.
It's not more of the accursed trees and grey walls situation, so...
The other thing with Brum is I know that it's just the NEC, and I think it is getting to a point now where people kind of camp the top area and the bridge and that kind of walkway area. So there's still areas where they get camped, but I think you can do... if you're willing to be creative... There's a lot you can do anywhere at the NEC, whereas I think at MCM, at XL, people are being more creative. I think this last one in October, I saw so much more variety that I've not seen before.
Same. What the fuck was that? I'm like, where is this? Where are the grey walls and the bullshit in the trees? And this time it's like, here's all this really dynamic shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, guys?
Even in the trees, like, there's not a corner of the Sunborn to be seen in it. It actually looks like trees.
Wild, yeah.
Also, the Sunborn, more people than ever have been shooting on it in May and October. So I
How
think
many
they
people get in
finally got
there?
lax.
I think
they've stopped being so pissy about people going on there.
I've never shot in there.
But
no, I've never. We went in there once, and they got kicked out immediately.
I've been in there once. We were picking someone up. We sat in the hotel room, and then we left.
I've shot in there. I shot with Colbert in there, and I've shot in there as a cosplayer, and I've also been kicked out of there. So, so it's just swings and roundabouts. They're very lenient if you're staying there.
Yeah,
but the 2 times I've shot in there, we came in and we just very politely asked, and the lady on reception was fine with it. And the one time weirdly I got kicked out was the one time I actually had email approval to shoot there.
Oh, that's bullshit.
But I think it was because we were a huge group.
Yeah, that's the only time I've been in there.
Oh yeah, so that's when you got kicked out. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know about the Sunborn, but it does feel like a lot more people shot there this time.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they've just finally made peace with the fact that they are a very nice hotel.
They don't realise it's free advertising as well, because people tag the Sunborn and then to see how glorious that staircase is.
It's a real shame.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't want a small army of weebs descending on, making a bunch of mess and being really noisy for whoever's there. Like, if you were there just for, like, the snow show and you just want peace, you don't want a bunch of nerds in anime costumes, like, accosting all the stairs.
This is true. There's one place people shoot at MCM, and I still don't know where it is. And it's like this strange balcony with a wooden floor.
Oh, it's upstairs. I can take you there next time. If I ever go back to the XL, I'll take you there.
Upstairs where? But it's outside.
Yes, it's on the balcony. It's the balcony because I got catcalled from it once.
Hey!
When I was dressed as Jessie from Pokemon, Jessie and James. But yeah, so you go inside, you go up the stairs, and then it's outside.
Oh, because I see people shoot there and I'm like, where is this balcony?
Yeah, how did you get there?
Yeah, so I know a lot of the green rooms lead out to it.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't know if you have to be like a guest or a panelist or something to get up there. But I've seen 86 up there.
I was going to say, I've seen 86 up there with the, like, people who were in the big cosplay contest. Because I've seen clips of them all there, because, like, the Trinket the Bear was up there.
Oh, maybe it's like...
stuff like that. So I don't know, like, if they were waiting up there, but then also how did 86 get up there?
I mean, it's 86. They're everywhere.
This is true. But yeah, so I don't know. I too have seen this balcony and then been like, this is somewhere in the XL.
Yeah, it's just one of those like nebulous. It's a XL. No idea.
It was like when we were at FanFest, one of the artists who was singing basically just went like, oh, like I've been watching you all from the green room, and I was like, where are these windows that you can see us from the green room?
Oh yeah, they're tinted on one side, I think.
They're like little squares that you can see when you're in the main hall. Next time you're in the main halls, if you look, so you know where the, like as you come in, so the interior wall, they're up there.
Oh!
So you know sometimes you go to the staircase to go to the bathrooms?
Yes.
You go up?
Oh.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we've been watching you and you all seem like you're having such fun, like we've seen you playing the mini games, and I'm like, where have you been perceiving this from?
Yeah, it's from the little windows.
Yeah, like, are you a ghost? Where are you coming from? But yeah, like I was like, evidently there is some sort of green room or some sort of window somewhere, but there's so many bits of the XL that I'm just like, I've just not ventured here. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere.
I don't know why I know so much about the XL, but apparently...
I mean, I ended up shooting up on a walkway by some conference rooms once. And then by the time I finished the shoot, I think they waited for us to finish. He was like, yeah, you can't really be up here. And I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, nice of them to wait.
I think he was having an internal debate of like, they're not really doing anything, but they also shouldn't be up here.
Yeah, they shouldn't be here, but they're also not causing a nuisance right now. So I'll just let them finish and then kick them out.
I think it was like me, Daniel, and Harley, and it was just the three of us.
Okay. Yeah,
it's easier when there's only 2 or 3 of you.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, if I had like a whole group.
I mean, maybe that's how so many people got in the Sunborn. Maybe they were just taking individual people in, rather than like, if you went and you were like, I'm going to be togging in the Sunborn, and brought like 10 people with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just I'll bring 2 or 3. Yeah, I'm excited to hopefully acquire a photography style after. Maybe. We'll see. At the minute, it's mostly just move the slideys until it sparks joy, and then I'm like, yes.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, that's pretty much what it's been. I've been like, faff with the slider. Okay, this sparks joy. Good enough. Next one.
Oh my god, for the first time. So I'm pretty lazy. I'll find a shoot that's similar, find the style, copy and paste straight into the new album. But for the first time ever, I was like, no, I'm going to do it from scratch. And then I edited it. I was like, why does this look weird? And I'd missed a step that like crushes my blacks. And I'm like, why is this wrong?
Oh, I mean, I basically ended up making presets for things. So I ended up with far too many presets because I was kind of going by costume by location because Nat was in white. And so if I tried to use the same setting on her that I used on Lydia, one of them looked really weird. And it varied depending on location who looked odd. So
Yeah, I've been doing them in terms of like lands. So I did all of the ones of us like in the bridge, and then I did all the ones of us on the boat, and then I did all the ones of us like, because then I could get in a flow of this is what they're meant to look like, so they're consistent.
Yeah.
And then
I do that.
Yeah, I went in order, but I also then made presets by like light source. So I had like a preset if it was really bright, a preset if it wasn't, and then a preset for the abyss.
The abyss preset.
Yeah, I think I did call it abyss because that way, like if I was going from, so there was a set of stairs that weren't super brightly lit, that is very similar to being inside the bridge, light-wise. So I could use a lot of the same presets for those that I couldn't then use like by the boat because that was direct sunlight. So yeah, I started having like vague presets by that, and then did the same when we moved on to like non-cosplay, like kimono stuff. I was like, this can go for this specific area, this works. So yeah, my presets are kind of done by how bright it was.
Yeah, valid.
Currently. Yeah, we will see what happens after Brum. I do not know.
Are you looking forward to doing Brum though?
I am so excited. Like, obviously I'm excited to cosplay, but I've also been doing that for 9 years. So it's like, that's just like a given at this point that I will be in some sort of stupid costume with some sort of prop that's too big for me. But I'm really excited to actually get to like shoot people and like try and like just like try and shoot a bunch of different stuff. Like, I want to shoot as many different things as people will let me at this point.
I think that's the best way to get better at something, whether it's photography or anything, is just to do it a lot.
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm like, I want to try and like get as big a variety as I can. So like, yeah, I'd love to shoot Baldur's Gate, I'd love to shoot Trigun, I'd love to shoot Crit Roll, but I'd also like, I'm like, yeah, I'll shoot anime, like I'll shoot Disney, like, because they all need such different treatments to make them still feel right to the thing they're from. That I'm like, that feels like a really good way to kind of get to play with a bunch of different stuff.
You'll get to know the joy of shooting a character you know versus a character you have no
Yeah, I've been very lucky in that
you go to 3 poses that you put somebody in.
Yeah, you go to 3.
How many grapes can you hold in different directions? Yeah, so like I know one of our friends has asked me to shoot their Gundam cosplay, and I know absolutely nothing about Gundam. So at least one of the shoots will be something I don't know what I'm dealing with.
If I can shoot Thrawn Star Wars...
Yeah.
You shot that as prom photos.
I took good ones as well. Not saying that the prom ones weren't good, but...
The prom ones are exquisite. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, they shoot like serious Star Wars as well. But I feel like Star Wars is a bit more universal. Like, you can kind of get vague space vibes than like Gundam. I'm like... I'm gonna have to ask. I'm hoping that people come with poses for the ones that I don't know. Because that's what I think I'm going to really struggle with, is I struggle as a cosplayer with posing sometimes. Like, it's one thing if it's a starry and you can just kind of flouncy hands your way through things. Or like Disney princesses all have very set poses. But like, sometimes you're just in a character and you're like, they just kind of stand there, you know?
Oh, they're my favourite, the ones that just stand there.
Some of them do!
Yeah, I know.
Like, particularly with stuff like Estinian from 14, he's either backflipping or he's just stood there.
What do you mean you can't backflip?
I can't backflip normally, never mind in full armour.
How long you got to learn to backflip?
Oh god. I mean, it's not made yet, so over a year. But yeah, like, so there's a lot of characters that like, or like if you're thinking like Urban High School Host Club, if you only have 1 or 2 of them, like, what do you do with them? I
have shot Host Club and I have not seen it, so it was a struggle for me.
Oh, so I'd be fine with Host Club.
Like, I mean, I've seen it, which is how I can use it as an example. But like, I feel like a lot of the kind of schoolgirly animes I would struggle with, because I'm like, I don't watch a lot of them.
Oh,
I appreciate them.
Cutesy. You go for cutesy.
But I'm like, what do I do with you? Yeah, but I also don't really do a lot of cutesy cosplays myself.
If I
don't really know how to pose cutesy.
If I don't know a character or an anime or whatever, I'm always like, okay, what is the character like? Are they evil? Are they sneaky? Are they cute? And then in my head, I can be like, okay, what characters do I know
that are similar?
That are cute. This is the pose I would do for that character. And then also you just, in your head, you have like your stock
Yeah.
These are my 3 photos, so I know that even if they get nothing, they'll get the 3 of like stock in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that my limited cosplay posing knowledge comes in to help with that. Also, like, having made my own cosplays, I'm hoping I can kind of look at it and be like, this looks like it took a long time. We're going to make sure that's in shot. Because that's something that I've noticed with photographers who cosplay versus photographers who don't. Like, I made Vash from Trigun, big blue metal arm, took me an age. And the cosplayers who, like, the photographers who also cosplay are like, put that thing in the front because that looks complicated and it looks like it's hell to wear. Like, we're going to make sure the arm's in shot. And then the ones who don't are like, pose the other way around. And I'm like, but the cool arm is the other side. But yeah, like, both are valid. But like, I feel like the photographers I know who have cosplayed or still cosplay have more of an eye for, I know that took an age, so we're going to make sure that's in shot, you know?
Because that's the thing I always forget, like with cosplay photography, is people work so hard on the little details, and I always forget to shoot them. And I forget, and then it's not until I'm like at the hotel later, I'm going, I've done no detail shots today.
Well, it's why, like, I appreciate it so much. So, obviously, I just got back tank space photos from Millie. And there's a beautiful detail shot of my arm underwater. Like, my big blue bash arm.
Just your arm.
And it's just my arm. And I'm like, I wasn't expecting detail shots from Tank, because Tank is its own beast. But I am so appreciative that they exist.
I watched her take it, and I was like, I never would have taken that. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, so I definitely want to try and get some detail shots of things, because sometimes, like, as like a Molly cosplayer, I don't really have many detail shots of my coat, and that took me a few hundred hours.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes you're just like, I just want somebody to see the amount of work that I have put into this one specific little bit.
I really like a detail shot, but I think the issue is that I never post them.
Yeah.
I can appreciate someone else's detail shot, and it's nice to see them, but I would just personally never post them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously I would never shoot just detail shots, because there is no point to that. Like,
detail only.
Like, you lose the whole thing if you're just shooting this really cool little bit. But like, I mean, I would probably put them in like a carousel. So I'd be like, here's a cool photo. Here is the detail thing that I really want you to see. But it would have to be something that I'd worked really hard on. So like Molly or Vash, I would 100% put up the detail shots. But like, I don't know, like one of the Genshins that I just bought, probably not, because I didn't make that. Somebody else did, and I just purchased it.
Yeah, if it was for like a portfolio, like you were submitting it to a competition or something, absolute detail.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends, because it depends on how in your face some of those details are. Because like, I don't feel like I need them for Astarion, because it's gold on burgundy, the bit that I like. I'm like, I drew all this out and digitized it, did it all myself. But it's also right in the middle of his chest and really obvious. Like, I don't need a detail shot of it, because it's right there. If you've got my face in shot, you've probably got it in shot too.
New challenge mode. Try not to get it in the shot.
Oh my god. If you do that Saturday at Brum, I will fight you. I will...
Worth it.
Oh, God. Now I'm going to deliberately hide behind Halcyon the whole time so you don't see it.
There you go. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, no, like... I don't know, I feel like it would just be cool to do some, like, just to... Like, it's really stupid, but even just to give back, like, to the cosplayers, be like, look, I noticed that you took a stupid amount of time on this thing. I don't care if you post it, but, like, bequeath you this beautiful shot of your hard work. But also, that's because I have no backlog and nothing coming until, like, April next year. So, I'm very aware that that's coming from a place of, once Brom's done, I'm good till April. So I have time to faff around with stuff. Like, I'm done on backlogs, so, like...
That's how we can tell you're a newbie photographer.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell I've only done 2 shoots ever, because I am finished.
You absolutely came back from Japan, though, and you're like, I've done this many pictures, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Can't relate. I've finished all the Esmeralda photos from Disney.
I mean, it was also because I had Con Crunch to do. So I had a week off after Japan. I was like, if I don't get these photos done then, they will not be done till next year, because I am in crunch mode now until Brum. So
I mean, I'm nearly done with your ones. But yeah. I will get around to it, but at the moment, yeah, Link is my focus, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is why I was like, I'm going to bash these out the way now. I may go back and revisit some of them, we'll see. I was like, if people at least have them, then I will feel less bad about crunching out like Astarion and Orin, who I'm now not going to use, and Halcyon and everybody else. Like, I'll feel less bad knowing that nobody's waiting on me.
Mm.
But that's also just because I wasn't doing major editing. It was mostly like some retouching and some color grading. It wasn't like I didn't have to reconstruct anybody, you know? I had no feet reconstruction, so
That's true.
the most I had was photoshopping glitter out of an armpit, so
You're welcome.
Meanwhile, me editing out like people from backgrounds, just like, begone with thee, get out of my wedding photo.
yeah, I luckily didn't have too much of that. Or if I did, there was some that I was just like, the people are just going to have to stay in this. I can't get them out reasonably.
Yeah, I got to the point, like, she could have been there, but I know I can get rid of it. Cursed by my own knowledge. Yeah, let's not talk about my backlog. Anyway,
do you have any advice for other cosplayers that want to get into photography? Like, what's the biggest thing you'd say you've learned from doing it?
I mean, again, I've done so little of it that it's kind of like, I feel like I'm not in a position to be telling anybody what they should be doing. Other than accost some friends while you're in a foreign country where they can't escape you. But, I don't know, I would say if you want to do it, like, give it a go. Cosplayers are very tolerant people when it comes to, I am new and don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like, as long as you're upfront with it and aren't like, I am Picasso, then, like, people are very forgiving with stuff. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know, I would say just kind of give it a go. There's no harm in asking someone if they're, like, willing to shoot with you. Like, I know that I've shot with people who have never taken photos before, and people, obviously, you two have shot with me who has never taken a photo before. Like, yeah, cosplayers are more tolerant than you give them credit for. They will be very gracious and let you shoot them, even if you haven't really done a lot before. So, yeah, there's no harm in asking, I guess.
Worst thing they can say is no.
Exactly. Worst thing they can say is no. And I think if you're coming at it from a cosplay perspective, you already kind of have a leg up because you know a lot of the stuff that you don't like. So, like, you know how to treat a cosplayer and not be an arse. And, like, you know a lot of the etiquette already. You know not to touch someone's cosplay without asking them, or, like, don't hug them if they're in unsealed body paint. Like, you know all this garbage already.
Hopefully you know this stuff.
Yeah.
Hopefully you know this stuff because you've already done it. So it's like, yeah, it feels less daunting because it's already a comfy place to be. You're not having to, like, learn how cons work and then also, like, learn photography at the same time.
Yeah, because you've not done any, like, classes or anything in photography, or just
No.
full steam. Let's see how it goes.
My class was a nature walk with Sib.
Oh dear.
I was like, this is how you fix the lights. And I'm like, that's what that little wheelie does.
Yeah, like, why is it so dark? And I'm like, you need to, change this.
Like, literally, the only other education I've had with photography was, I think we had a photography club in college that I did so I didn't have to do sport. But they just let us loose with, like, some shit cameras on the campus, and they were like, go learn some things. So we mostly just sat in the SU and did nothing.
I would have killed for a photography club at school.
It was college, and it was basically you had to pick an extracurricular, and you couldn't do the same one twice, and the only non-sport ones were cooking and photography. And so I'd already done the cooking one, and I was like, oh crap, I've got another year of this. I need to pick another thing that's not sport, please, dear God. And yeah, so I went and did the photography one, but I learned absolutely nothing. Like, I think they told us what aperture was, and that was the grand total of our knowledge.
That's all you need.
And, like, to the point where I remembered the word exists, but I did not remember what it meant. I was like, there's a button somewhere that deals with that. I don't know.
And then you just change it to the little A setting on the top of your camera, so it's aperture priority, and it does it all itself.
Yeah, I mean, we also, like, we just put everything on auto, and then go take, like, 4 pictures, and then go to the, like, student union. That was all we did. They did not regulate what we were doing, and also most of the time it was horrible and grey, and all we had was, like, the empty school playground to take photos of. was not great. But yeah, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing beyond what I have been informed by friends who know what they're doing.
And do we know what we're doing?
I would say you do, yes. I heard you and Carl talk shop. You know what you're talking about.
True.
That was a lot of numbers that made no sense to me.
I was talking to my mum the other day, and she asked the question, do you think your film degree helps with your photography? And I was like, it's been a decade, I don't fucking know anymore. But then I went on like a deep dive of like people's different styles, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, because she shoots a lot on Dutch tilt and stuff, which is really cool and really dynamic. And my mum just looked at me blankly, and I was like, you don't know what a Dutch tilt is? And she's like, no, why would I? And I'm like, oh.
I mean, I only know what it is because I know it's very controversial amongst you togs.
Yeah.
Some people hate it and some people love it. And
it's
then,
the Marmite of photography, I swear.
Like, that's the only reason I know it exists, is because I've heard you all bickering over it.
It's very funny.
I'm like, okay, so shoot everything in Dutch tilt to wind people up. Understood.
Especially Eddie.
Yeah. I'm like, if I really want to annoy Eddie, just everything must be Dutch tilt. Got it.
I do like Dutch tilt. I just don't choose it very often.
It depends. I think it depends on the character and the
Oh,
pose.
God, yeah.
I think you need to like treat it carefully.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I wouldn't put like Disney princesses in Dutch tilt. Jesus Christ. Disney villains, I would.
I want to see a Disney Princess Dutch tilt album now. That sounds incredible. It sounds awful.
I still have Disney princess photos from the summer. Don't
Do it. You made me skin-toned Molly Moore. Dutch tilt some princesses.
True.
Enter your cursed era.
Oh god. I dread to think what that is.
Lydia, do I get to shoot your Saturday cosplay?
Yeah, of course you do.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Highlight of Brum right there.
Oh my god, I'm going to do all that in Dutch tilt.
Yeah, everything must be Dutch tilted.
Saturday is Dutch tilt day.
I do think in 6 months' time we need to get Fletcher back on and be like, so...
See how it's been.
You've done some cons, you're now crunching and editing. How do you feel?
Well, what's 6 months for?
You haven't had a break since the last time we spoke to you because you've now got a backlog.
Oh, it'd be after May MCM. We'd have to do it after the May MCM.
I mean, yeah, I'm hoping to go to MCM next year, so... Oh boy.
So we've talked about kind of different editing styles, and we've talked about a lot of other photographers during this recording. So I guess I can ask, and you have mentioned briefly about, you know, how you've got round to trying to find your style and stuff, but what photographers inspire you? And it doesn't necessarily have to be myself and Sib, but
she admitted she was a photographer. You heard it here first.
There we go.
Girly, I'm a point and click girly.
What you said.
So what photographers? It doesn't even have to be cosplay photographers, because there are some kind of like Japanese street photographers I absolutely adore. So like, who does inspire you?
I mean, I am going to have to start with the two of you, because I don't think I would have ventured down this path if I hadn't seen the stuff that you do.
You saw me and you were like, you know what, if Lydia can do this fucking shit.
No! That's really not what I said. I was like, oh, Lydia does really cool stuff and somehow manages to juggle both cosplay and photography.
And somehow it looks good at the end.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've also accidentally nicked half of Sib's stuff while doing Disney stuff, so I can't not say Sib.
How did you nick my stuff? I'm so... What?
It's just the amount of times I was doing colour grading, I was like, this kind of looks like Sib's if you squint. I then fixed it so that it was less Sib, but...
Incredible.
It was like, by default, I was like going to that as like best practice, and I was like, wait, no, that's someone else. I mean, like, we are very lucky that we have a lot of very talented photographer friends. So yeah, like Millie and Amy absolutely inspire me constantly. Yeah, like there's just so many good cosplay photographers specifically. It's hard to make a list because I'm gonna miss someone.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have one person like message me like, what the fuck do you mean I wasn't on the list? And I'm like, you're all on the list. I'm just bad at remembering.
It's like World Photography Day, and I'm like, happy birthday to me and me alone, because I will forget someone.
There's so many, like, I feel like particularly now, like, I keep seeing shoots from people and being like, holy shit, I had no idea you could do that with a cosplay. Like, not even like the cosplay, like, just I had no idea that you could make it look that way. Like, I've seen this in daylight, and then I've seen how it looks in these shots, and it's worlds apart.
Is it T.S. Williams? I've forgotten her handle.
Yeah.
The one she did recently in the lake.
So good. Yes.
is stunning. I remember like gasping when I saw them. And they're not cosplay, I don't think. They're just kind of a fantasy thing. And those really, I was like, this is beautiful.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that is just like so freaking cool. Like again, like all of Millie's stuff in the flower field is so like dreamy and so pretty.
Oh, there's one that she got of Ma, and as they did Howl and Sophie, and I actually did the flip, the cape flip, like I flipped the skirt to make it look like they were actually being swung round.
Yeah.
And when we took it, I was like, this is going to be pretty. And then when they posted it, I was like, oh, it's so pretty. It's Pain Depetch and Cos.Jade.
Yes.
I don't know if they've posted it on Instagram yet. I hope
I'm looking for it at the moment.
So Cos.Jade has posted it. So you can't see, but that was my skirt flip. It's stunning.
Oh, I see.
That's another one where
pretty.
I gasped when you're in the moment and you're like, yeah.
You know when you've hit the shot?
Yeah.
Have you hit that yet? Have you had that moment? You're like, that's it. That's the one.
Only a couple of times, and it's not been like again, because it was like a very specific shoot. There's, I think, one of Lydia running up the stairs with Rapunzel. I was like, as soon as that one came up on my camera, I was like, I don't need to take any more of these. That's done.
You got it.
We got it. That one's fine. There were a couple of, there's like a there's like a planetarium, and there were a couple of Nat in there that I was like, yeah, I need more of this angle.
You haven't told Sib the cursed way that we got those photos.
Oh my god, lay down on the floor in full aerial cosplay, like shooting up at her. While these poor tourists are trying to just come in and look at the planetarium room. And there's just us lay in the doorway.
So this area, it's the like port discovery area, and there's like a walk-through challenge you can do. It's all in Japanese, so normally like foreigners don't do it, but you basically have to like, it's the Mystery of Da Vinci, and you have to go around and like spin things and like etch something on a little piece of paper. It's really cool. And you have to like match some crests on a spinny thing that then links up to like a mirror. And part of that is going into the planetarium room. So every like 5 minutes, Nat stood there posing. Me and Fletch are like a toboggan run of people. Incredible. Utilizing the core to get the angle because we're in cosplay.
We were also in corsets though, so it's like,
oh my god,
there anyway.
And then every like 5 or 6 minutes, like 4 or 5 like teenage boys would come in with their piece of paper, being like, "I've got to rotate the planetarium to get Mars in the right position to know what to write on it." Yeah.
Oh, it was so fun.
And then there was a lovely the janitor lady who gave us stickers. So
the cast member came around the corner and was like, "Here's some stickers for all the cosplayers. Why are you on the floor?"
Yeah,
oh, I love that.
Don't worry about us.
Yeah, so at Tokyo they give you stickers. See, the cast members.
You're already togballing and lying on the floor in weird places.
You're
natural.
You're a photographer. That's it.
Never trust a tog that doesn't scrunch up in some weird way.
That is such a good thing. That is a red flag. If your tog is not willing to togball, what kind of tog are you?
Yeah. The amount of times I togball and people are like, "You're spine," I'm like, worth it.
You know when it's worth it as well. Thanks for listening. I've been Lydia.
And I've been Siobhan.
And our guest today has been Fletcher of Etchafletchphots and Kingswoodcosplay. Before we go, Fletcher, if you could Ctrl-Alt-Delete something, no context, no explanation, what would you delete?
The grey walls at MCM.
Hey.
Have we already had that one? We have.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry.
I said that.
Yeah, you did.
They need to go. They're fucking annoying.
They still need to go.
That's 2 votes now. You can find Fletcher at Etchafletchphots and Kingswoodcosplay, and you can find us on all social media platforms under Ctrl-Alt-Cos. Or, alternatively, go to ctrlaltcosplay.co.uk/social and see them all there. You can listen to the podcast at Ctrl-Alt-Cos on both Spotify and YouTube, or ad-free plus a day early over on Patreon. Patreon members will also gain exclusive access to outtakes and stories that didn't quite make it into the episode. Patreon members will also gain exclusive access to the game show after the show, which is a thing that we're now doing. Join the Patreon to find out what it is. Our guest next time will be BB Face Cosplay, and that's coming out on December the 2nd. So enjoy the sneak peek, and we will see you soon. And goodbye.
Goodbye.
If you spend longer than 20 minutes with me at con, you will probably see my ouch pouch.
The ouch pouch. That's so cute.
I love that.
It's a little sort of zip-up makeup bag, which is covered in magical girl sort of accessories and weapons. And in it is a sort of mini version of what I would be carrying on the job, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of sit there and I think preemptively what is going to go wrong.
Want to see your favourite cosplayer or photographer on the show? Get in touch at info@controlaltcosplay.co.uk.